Hello and welcome to Hyperlocal in Huntsville, Alabama, where I showcase local entrepreneurs. If you've enjoyed watching any of my local interviews, if you like the content, you like to hear from local entrepreneurs, then if you would, I would really love it if you would subscribe to my channel. So please press that subscribe button and subscribe. And today I am so thrilled to have a guest that I've had on once before, but we're just going to take a little different angle with this entrepreneur. She is a business owner and has operates more than one business. And her name is Shanna David. If she runs her business anything like she parents, it's going to be a success. Her son is in second year medical school. She's got twin daughters. One is at Massachusetts Maritime, correct? Is that
Correct.
right? The other, or just went, right? Or is just about to go.
It's going on
And
to
then about to, okay. And the other one is going to USA here in Alabama. And she just won the National Junior Miss Alabama competition with, tell me the organization.
she's a National American Miss, and she is your reigning teen Miss Alabama.
Okay, and I've met one of your daughters, and she is just a delight. The one going to Massachusetts Maritime, and I'm sure that they're all delightful. But anyway, so let's get beyond the parenting piece. You know, that's the easy thing for us to talk about, right?
Right.
But it's also easy to talk about our businesses because we do have passions about what we do and what we love to do to serve our communities. And so, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Shanna, and what you do.
Well, Sarah, I most importantly, like you just mentioned, am a mother to three amazing, beautiful children. And I have a degree in education, and I actually taught for 18 years. I taught middle school science. I'm nationally board certified in science, and I'm the owner of two small businesses here in Huntsville. I work in the field of financial services, and I also own the ZONE Fastpitch. And what I like to tell people is I help individuals to realize and prepare their plans for the future.
Tell us a little bit of the story about how your businesses came to be and what inspired you to start them.
Well, after teaching for 18 years, I wanted to explore other opportunities for myself to continue to grow as a professional. And in 2023, I received a phone call. It was out of the blue, and it was to interview for a field position in financial services. And honestly, Sarah, I heard the offer and I thought, I'll go to the interview, I'll hear more about the opportunity, but this might not be for me. And as in any career change, there was this unknown factor, whether, it's always a fear, a little bit of fear when you're looking at something that's unknown and different. But as an educator of 18 years, I loved educating others. I still love educating others. It was a strength that I possessed and something that I really enjoyed doing. And as I listened during that interview, I found that I could help educate people in some of the most important decisions that they will ever make in their lives and help them to create a path to reach their long-term goals. So I accepted that position that day, and I've been doing it now for 3 years. And I
Okay.
began to move forward towards all my required certifications.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about a hobby or interest of yours that might surprise people?
Well, I think one of the things that would surprise people is that I own a second business, and it is called the ZONE Fastpitch. We have been in operation here in Alabama since 2011. And prior to that, we were in Nashville, Tennessee, and started and opened our doors in 2004. So, Sarah, we've been doing this a long time. And I've got to work with so many young ladies across the state of Tennessee and across the state of Alabama. I played collegiate softball. I was a pitcher at Cumberland University, and I enjoyed teaching the young women how to play softball and help young players to develop and learn the game of softball. And through that business, I'm able to continue to work and educate children, and that's something that is a passion of mine. I can teach young women not only to pitch, but I can also help encourage them and build them up and mentor them. That helps them in all areas and all aspects of life. And I'm excited to announce that I am celebrating this year with my graduating seniors a 100% recruiting rate. All four of our graduating seniors will play collegiate softball this upcoming season. One is signed to play D1 softball. One is signed to play D3 softball. One is signing to play NAIA softball, and one is signing as a JUCO player. I am so proud of these four young ladies, and I wish them all the best as they continue their journey.
That is so wonderful. You spent time with these girls, you've poured into them, you've given them the direction they need and the guidance to perform at a high level so that they can excel at their sport. And I think, I know we've discussed this before, but learning about life through sports is a great way to just, go into adulthood. I know some of our seniors think, okay, I'm done. I've done it all now, but no, they're just at the beginning, right, of the rest of
That's
their
right.
lives. And so this is a great thing that you're doing. I think sports for girls is an incredible thing. Our girls all played sports, and I think it was great.
Well, you learn so much through playing sports. You learn leadership. And I think most importantly, you learn how to deal with difficult situations and sometimes even how to deal with difficult people. And those are
Mhm.
skills as an adult that you have to have and you have to master to be successful. And it teaches you so many things when you're on a team.
So, what is your favorite thing about your businesses?
Helping people. That's my favorite thing. I think what I'm most passionate about in my business. With softball, it's
Mhm.
educating, it's mentoring, it's helping prepare them for the future. And I hope that one day that those young ladies take something that I have taught them and they're able to use it in their adult life to be successful as a professional. In the field of financial services, it's helping people to realize their biggest dreams and their goals and helping them to set a path and a plan in order to get there.
See, and isn't that so true? Like in sports, I mean, you've got to have a plan, you've got to have a strategy, and so you're doing that in business as well for people. Obviously, you have some memorable success stories, or maybe a challenging situation you've overcome in your career. Could you share either one of those with us and what you learned from it?
Yes. And my career in financial services, there is a lot of testing involved with this career and becoming certified to do this job. So the biggest challenge for me, Sarah, was coming out of being a teacher for 18 years. I was educating other people on how to take tests. But it had been a while since I had done that. So after 20 years of being out of that environment, I had to retrain myself on how to test. This field required four major tests to get the certification that I had. I had to learn new concepts, laws, standards, and this required me to study and it required me to elevate how I prepared as an adult to each test. And it challenged me in ways, it pushed me to be better. I had to reflect on my own personal learning and how I was learning and how I learned best. And it's so easy to want to listen to what everybody tells you, do this, do that. But really, it's individualized to you. And one thing I had to realize that what might be best for one person may not be best what was best for me. And I had to adapt and find ways to study that really helped me become the best learner that I could be. It was a hard journey. It was done in
Mhm.
6 months. And, most of the time, these tests, it takes 2 or 3 months to prepare. You take the test. I did it within 6 months. And I was fortunate to have the support of a wonderful supervisor. I had the support of my work colleagues. And most importantly, I had the support of my family during that time period.
Mhm. That's great. So good to have that kind of support around you. I know as adults, and I think this is a good lesson for your students and anyone younger who's watching this, that learning is not something you just do K through 12, right? I mean, we
Right.
continue learning lifelong, and then most people nowadays have more than one career. It's the rarity now that somebody stays in the same career for 30, 40 years. And so just be prepared to learn and to enjoy that and embrace it. Tell me then, now that you have, overcome these obstacles of having to get through the learning process for something new, how do you stay relevant with the latest developments in your industry?
Well, just like you just said, I'm constantly learning. This industry is constantly changing, it's constantly evolving. And I devote at least 5 hours a week to making sure that I am on top of new courses. I'm looking at new content. I'm always reviewing standards and I'm always reviewing best practices so that I can be the best that I can be in order to provide the best care and the best service for my clients.
Well, so I see that education is a key component of it, but it's only part of the piece of what you do each day. So take us through a typical day in your shoes.
No day is ever really typical for me.
Okay.
Every day is new and exciting. One thing that I find really important, especially to kind of have that balance, is I love to walk. So I try to walk 3 miles a day. Luckily, that's the loop around my neighborhood, or it's, 33 laps at the track. And I also try to bike 5 miles a day. So those two things help me recenter. It helps me stay in shape. It helps me to relieve any stress that I might have from the week. And that's really important to me, to make sure my body is ready for the day to start. And I find that time to be kind of clarity time. It's time to refocus, to recenter. And afterwards, then I will start my journey. And my journey could be a lot of different places in Alabama. I cover from the north border all the way down to the Gulf. So I will drive maybe to Huntsville, Decatur, Cullman, Albertville, Guntersville, Birmingham, Scottsboro. And each day I choose a location that I want to go work out of. And I try to incorporate one networking opportunity to meet new people. My goal is every single day to try to meet and make contact with 5 new people. And if you think about that and you did that every day for, you did that for 365 days. Imagine the impact. Imagine the number of people that you would meet. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. And that's quite a challenge. But at the same time, I mean, you have to enjoy people and in meeting people to do that. And
Right.
so for some people, that's great. And for a person like you, I'm sure it's awesome. But there are people that are probably thinking, oh, that would just drive me nuts. So clearly this job is not for everyone, right?
Correct.
But for
Yes, you have to
definitely
be a
for
people. You have to like to meet people for this job. That is absolutely true.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, now, and so aside from just meeting the people, what is your approach? Like, how would you describe your approach that's unique about serving your clients and customers? What would set you apart from someone else?
Well, I think what sets me apart is that background in education. I will always be a teacher, no matter what industry I'm in. And teaching is a big part of what I do. Is I want my clients to be educated on the decisions that they're making, educated on the options that they have. I want them to clearly understand what options we have and which one is more advantageous for them. And I think that's a very important part of my job, and what I feel is my most important part of my job is educating them on the best practice, the best different options that they have.
Okay, yeah, I think that's so good to hear. I know I'm a former teacher too, and I think the fact that we're used to educating people, if you're in a career where education is important, then that's such an asset. And I think even being a parent, raising children, all the things that we've done as women during those child rearing years, we can make it apply to the business world. What do you believe are your key qualities that make you successful?
It's my ability to form connections with people of all walks of life. I love meeting people and I love helping people. I
Mhm,
love educating people.
mhm.
I'm very driven and I'm a very hard worker. And I want to create an environment where the people that I work with feel valued and know that I'm working for their long-term success.
Well, I can definitely see that in you, Shanna.
Thank you.
So, reflecting on your journey, what moment or achievement are you most proud of in your business?
The moment and the achievement that I'm most proud of is meeting all those testing requirements, because that for me was the hardest preparation that I've done for any career in my life, and becoming registered. And those tests are very challenging. And to complete them in a 6 month period was a challenge on top of that very hard challenge. And it was
Congratulations, by the way. That's
thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
That is awesome because
And
I
it,
know, yeah, I mean, I've not taken those tests, but I've talked to people who have, and I can believe what you're saying is true for sure.
so many hours of studying and preparing, and time away from my family,
Mhm.
um and time honestly away from work hours. I mean, it was things that I had to do. I
Yeah,
put at least 5 hours of study time into every single day, but it
yeah,
was time well worth it. I mean, it was
yeah.
spent in a way that was the most productive to help me be successful.
Okay. Well, and I know that you want to impact others, but how do you hope your business will impact the community or just the industry? What kind of legacy do you aim to leave?
Well, I hope that the work and the planning that I'm doing with my clients, it meets their goals and their long-term objectives for their lifetime. And I hope that impact, it helps them to rest assured and have a good peace of mind and find joy in everything that we're doing.
Okay. And is there anyone you'd like to express gratitude to, like a mentor, team member, just anyone that has played a significant role in your business? And I know this is kind of like, the Emmys or something, and they're standing up and saying, "Oh, you may leave someone out and inadvertently." So I don't want you to do that. But if you could list, who would it be?
Well, first, it would be my first managing partner. His mentorship, he believed in me and he saw a vision for me before I could even see it really for myself. And then he helped to develop me and build me towards what my impact could be. He was always there to offer support on the hard days, and then he was there to celebrate along the successes and victories that I had. Having a management that offers guidance and development and positivity is important in any professional field. And I was blessed during that time to have that, and I am also blessed at this time to have that. I want to thank David, who is my current supervisor, for his support. One of the things that I absolutely love about David is his commitment to the community and giving back. And I'm really proud to be part of his team and a part of a team that values a positive impact on their community. I'd also like to tell my former colleagues and friends, Matthew, Curtis, Amanda, I want to thank them for their partnership and their support. Without them, it would have been possible to go through this journey because they helped me in ways and built me up and picked me up on those hard days. And it was always good to have a team that works together towards the same objectives and supports each other and creates just that holistic approach to being a team. And I'm so grateful for that. And my current partners, Heath and Michael, they have both went above and beyond to help me grow my business and offer guidance and be supportive. And most importantly, my two mentors, Josh and Ron, both of which have numerous years of experience in the industry. And they have been critical in supporting my long-term development. And without them, I would not be where I am today. And I just appreciate them both so much.
Well, that's so great. So great to have that kind of supportiveness, encouragement. It's good to be able to surround yourself with people like that. So, but I know that no matter what kind of support you have, you can always look back, and hindsight is kind of 2020. So if you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice starting your business, what would it be?
It would be eat that elephant one bite at a time. I think, with any business, there's so many parts and moving pieces, and you're going. Sometimes it's good to take a breath, to reflect, and take every step that you take with intention and purpose. And building a successful practice in any field, it takes time, and it takes devotion, and it takes discipline. And I think every stone that you lay on your journey, on your path, it helps to be a step to help you reach your final destination.
That's very good advice and very true, most definitely. Now, additionally, outside of work, are you involved in any community or charity work
I
related to your business?
I am, and you know me, so that I love to
Yeah.
talk about. This is one of my favorite things to talk about.
Mhm.
I am a member of the Junior League of Huntsville, and volunteering with the Junior League is just so very important to me. We touch so many different organizations. We go out, it's meeting new people, but it's also getting out in the community and having that impact. And we're able to do it on a large scale, and I love that about the Junior League. I also volunteer individually at the National Child Advocacy Center located here in Huntsville. And this cause is very important to me. And I try to volunteer there when I'm needed. I was a special investigator for the Department of Children's Services in Nashville, Tennessee in the early 2000s. And during that time, I worked with the Williamson County Child Advocacy Center. And it's just a cause that is well worth putting effort, donations, time, because when you're helping those kids, you're really helping them start their healing journey. The National Child Advocacy Center helps victims of severe abuse to begin their healing journey. And being able to volunteer and being able to advocate for this organization is truly one of the best blessings that I have in my life.
Very worthy causes for sure, for advocating for those who many times cannot advocate for themselves. That's so wonderful. Now, how do you give back or contribute to those that you serve?
Well, I donate monetarily, but I also love to give my time. I love to volunteer. I love to serve others. I've been able to help with Shower Up here in Huntsville. And that's a great organization. If you don't know about that, they collect clothing, they have these mobile showers, they feed, and they go out into the community to people in need, and they provide them a place to take a warm shower. And if you've never been in a situation where you've not been able to have a shower, imagine that impact that they have. They provide them with clothes and clean towels and soaps and all the things that they would need to be able to have that, and being able to just feel good about themselves. And I love that organization. I love helping with them. I also love to give back to schools and serve the staff. So if you have a faculty that you would like for me to bring snacks to, that you would like for me to do a breakfast for, I love to do that. Being able to donate to classrooms. I was a teacher for 18 years. So being able to show that gratitude, being able to show them that we care about them, we're thinking about them, that is something that I really, really enjoy doing and really enjoy supporting them in.
Okay, I hope everybody's listening so you can maybe bless your children's school with some special treats. I know Shanna would love to do that. And by the way, I was meeting with some ladies just last week, and one of them was telling me of her idea to do something called Sandwich Up.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
said, well, have you heard of Shower Up? And then we were like, hey, maybe we can get those two things together. So we'll have to see if we can make that happen.
that would be awesome.
What do you love most about being part of this community here in the North Alabama
Well, I'm a teacher, right?
area?
And before I was a science teacher, I was a history teacher. So
Okay, yeah.
you combine history and you combine science, and you put Huntsville, Alabama
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
Oh,
And you look
yeah.
at the beautiful history we have with the space race. I love the fact that we are the home of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. I was privileged in 2011 to be a teacher educator at the U.S. Rocket Center, and I got to work with teachers from across the world, not the nation, the world. We had teachers from different parts of Africa, from Europe, from Asia, that came into the Rocket Center to learn more about the space race and Huntsville's impact on that. How awesome is that?
That is so awesome. Huntsville is truly an international city. Not what people envision Alabama being like, really. Not Alabama at large, although I love the entire state of Alabama, whether it's Huntsville or not. But Huntsville is truly unique. And yes, that is exciting. So much going on at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center all the time, and a lot of great education as well.
It was a privilege to be able to do that summer internship there. And I learned so much. It expanded my knowledge of the space race, but just to be in a room where you can touch the same gloves that Neil Armstrong had on his hand. Now, they were his training gloves. They weren't the ones on the moon, so don't get too excited. But we have those, and we let our kids try those on. Imagine the impact of a kid looking down at a glove that says Aldrin, looking out at a glove that says Young. And they know that these are people who achieved their greatest dreams. They went out and achieved the American dream. I mean, the impact that has, it's so special.
It is very special. So tell us a little bit about your aspirations and plans for the future of your business. Where do you see it being, maybe in a year or
Well, in
longer?
the next year, I'd like to meet as many people as possible. With what I do, it's meeting people, getting out there in the community, serving. And I really would like to grow the scope of my business over the next year and really get out in the community and really expand who knows me. I want people to know who I am, what I do, and how that I can help them.
Okay, great. And we've had a lot to talk about, and I'm sure we could just go on and on because the two of us have no problem with talking. I'm a talker, and we're teachers, right? So we
Right.
can talk. But if we could boil it down to one thing that you want people to take away from our interview about you and your business, what would it be?
It would be these questions. What is your plan for the unexpected? How are you protecting your most important asset, which is your ability to earn an income? Do you have a plan to address that if you were hurt, if you were disabled, if you couldn't work, you had a long-term illness that required in care, or if you were to pass away unexpectedly? Are you prepared for retirement? Are you prepared for your biggest risk during retirement, which is longevity risk? What are your plans in retirement to ensure that both of these risks are addressed? Those are the type of questions that I help address every single day.
Well, that's a great point there to just kind of sum it all up because, truly we take so much for granted, just the ability maybe to walk if we're able to walk, which is a blessing. The ability to drive a vehicle, to go places and just all the things. You realize that as soon as you break a bone or you have something, happen in your life where you can't do those things. And so, it is great to have a plan once again. And that's what you're all about, is helping people plan for that. In order for people to contact you, to reach you, if they want to discuss these things with you, tell us where they can find you.
You can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Shanna Marie David, and on LinkedIn, you'll be able to see my digital business card, and I would love for you to reach out to me.
Okay, and we will also add your contact information in the comments of this video on YouTube. So be sure to check there to get in touch with Shanna. And thank you so much for sharing your time with us today, Shanna. It has been great hearing about you and your business, your family, and just all the great things that you're doing and going to do. And thanks again.
You are very welcome.